Okay, I think we're live. Hello, how's everybody doing? Woo woo! It is November. Can you believe already that it's November? We only have 2 months left of 2020. My goodness. All right, I'm going to give y'all a minute here to jump on. I want to make sure that you are plugging in for our monthly coaching call. My name is Cami Pentecost, and I'm your Senior Vice President of Field Development. What does that mean? It means we get to work, we get to lock arms hand in hand and build this business together. For some of you that are new with us, by the way, go ahead right now and tell me how long you have been with the company. Years, months, days? I want to hear it. I love going back and reading through the comments as well as answering any questions that you might have, as well as making connections. So make sure you share this on your team pages. If you don't have a team page yet, tag a few of the people on your team. And if you're brand new and you're just getting started, tag a few of your uplines or sideline buddies that you've met since you've been here. One of my favorite things about this business is you are in business for yourself, but you are not by yourself, no matter how long you have been with us. So introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, how long you've been with us, and don't forget to bring your people on with us. I'm super excited. It's November the 2nd, and yes, you guys are all super awesome. I had the best birthday, and I feel like we're still celebrating. There's so many packages coming in the mail that we're going to be opening, and heck, I'm going to suck a little bit of birthday season out of this. So excited to connect with you today. We're going to go through the November game plan. So if you haven't yet already, it is in your document library in your eSuite. Make sure you print that off. It is the November game plan goal sheet. It's a great way to track how you're doing this month, as well as it's got some great ideas how to take your business to that next level. We're going to talk about some of those things now, but I encourage you to print that off if you don't already have it in front of you so that you can go through it with me, as well as to make sure you go through this with your team when we're done with our time here. And if you're not able to catch this live, drop me a number 2 as you're watching the replay, and don't forget to ask your questions, tag your teams, and still print off the game plan. I've got a bunch of things that I want to go through with you today, and I'm not going to spend my time going through all the various announcements, rules, and regulations, but I am going to hit on a couple things, all right? So make sure you're showing me lots of love as you're hearing things, commenting as something jumps off the page at you, and let's make this as interactive as possible in this digital world that we're living in. Happy November. I love November, but I'm born on the 1st of November, so I've always been a little biased about the month of November. We're going to talk about all the things happening right now, because there sure is a lot of them. But a couple things just to kick it off as people are jumping on, introducing themselves. Tell me how long you've been with us, and if it's a matter of days, tell me how many days, because we're definitely going to introduce ourselves and want to get to know you. But a couple things. November banquet bonuses are up for grabs. This year isn't over yet. I love it. So we have that money right there on the table. Can I just remind you of something? Mark and Cindy Pentecost, we're back. Mark, a former school teacher, and Cindy, stay-at-home mom, did daycare, did some, odds and ends, side hustles to make some extra income for the family. And yet, Mark had just said if there was something out there where he could earn this if he did this, sign me up. The work ethic wasn't missing. It was the opportunity and the place to make that kind of money that was. And when he found it, he went to work for it. And that's what you guys have right here, right now. And so I love that these banquet bonuses speak to those of you saying, it may not be something everybody can do, but why wouldn't I try? And why wouldn't I offer it? Because if somebody's been praying for something, this could be what they've been praying for. And who are we to decide who should or shouldn't have the opportunity to go for it? And if they say no, thank you, well, now you know. It's not a matter of, of if you should pre-qualify people. Just ask everybody, because they deserve to hear about it. Whether or not they're going to go after it, that's up to them. So it's our job to share it with them. And I can't think of a better time to share it with them than right now. Y'all, we got Christmas around the corner. We got New Year's just around that corner. Here in the U.S., we have Thanksgiving this month. I mean, so many things, that are so many things coming at us, you guys. Oh my goodness, the distractions are endless, and that's why we get to stay focused. We get to choose what we focus on. And let me just go through some of those things. November banquet bonuses. Pick 3 launched yesterday, November 1st, and it will run for the whole month. I love it. I love it. They can get 3 products for $75 anytime this month. If they only want 1 or 2 products, that's full price BV, or you can upsell your products to your customers to 3 products. Or 4 products for free shipping over $99. And then obviously they get the discount if they spend over $200. So love all the opportunities in place for us to put some scripts together to get people on the products. And we know the synergy of the products work better together. And oftentimes people don't even know the depth of our product line. All right. Yesterday we launched officially our Loyal Customer Gold program. Details for all of that can be found at itworks.com/loyal. Also, we announced yesterday, this is what I want to spend a minute talking about, the premiere, the exclusive pre-conference 2021 event for our VIPs, okay? And this is going to be in person for the top 25 US distributors, which will include 5 coaches pick, and that will be January the 12th and 13th. More details to come, but block that off right now. I know many of you are even coming in for conference itself with a group of people to do your watch parties, but make sure you mark off those dates, January 12th and 13th. Also, for our Mexico, Australia, Canada, and European families, keep in mind, we're doing a virtual top 10 VIP premiere event for you all and a few coaches picks as well. Now, I want to point out a couple things, and some of you are like, well, I'm not those VIPs. Listen, you want your VIP there because it's going to greatly impact you. And because it's a November sprint, I want to say that again. It is absolutely a November sprint. That means it is not year to date through November, top 25 and coaches picks. It's for the month of November only, top 25. And coaches picks. And when we say that the qualifier for it, and I want you to hear me carefully, but you still need to go read the rules and regulations, VIP friends. You do need a brand new Ruby to pop in November. Now, the good news is it can be anybody that's not yet Ruby. If they go Ruby in the month of November, they will count to qualify you for that. So that's going to be important that you pay attention to that. There will be emails coming up to let you know if you're even in the running for this, but I have a feeling more of you are in the running than you even realize. So very, very excited. It's going to be a very special time, and we've missed this part. You heard Mark say it last night on the family call. You're going to hear me say it now. This is a part of our secret sauce, and we know we greatly need it. And as we have our first ever virtual conference, we want to equip you to be able to go home and properly make this an event for the history book. So we're gonna do it up big. It's going to be good. All right, so a couple things you're going to hear me say over and over today, and I want you to drop these words in the comments, because there's something about typing it out that's like writing it, thinking about it, saying it as you type it out, that's going to connect your head and your heart and your all the things, right? Because this is going to be a sprint. November is going to be a sprint. And you've heard Mark say, you got to run uphill. You've heard us talking about 2-a-days, but all the efforts that you're putting in, you're working harder, maybe even for less results right now, but it's about what's coming that you'll get to enjoy the downhill run because of all the things that you're doing right now. So mark your calendars if you're diamond and above. By the way, if you're diamond and above, drop in the comment below. I want to see who you are. I want to make sure you're representing today. We meet every Wednesday, diamonds and above. We are connecting together at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Different speakers, different topics. It's all leadership development, weekly announcements coming out from corporate, just our efforts to communicate and equip you to go out there and lead well and build your business. But this week, very excited about a couple special guests that I have on me. You're going to hear some incredible stories of people that hit some awesome leadership levels and what they've done to reinvent themselves and also hold themselves accountable to the kind of work needed to take your business to that next level. Super, super good. As well as, how many of you have heard of 75 Hard? It's like this thing going around right now with accountability, and it's hard, but it's about getting massive results. Well, we're going to teach you our very own It Works 30 hard. And I'm excited about that. I'm not going to tell you who my special guests are. You got to join me on that call, Diamonds and Above. Listen, it's the same number every single time, and you will get a connect push either the day before or a couple days before or the morning of to give you that number if you've misplaced it. But you're going to want to make sure you plan every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern to be on that call. We're going to have a good one this week. All right, you guys, I want to talk to you about a couple things, all right? One of the things that makes it work so special is just the community, the fun that we have, the friendships. As a matter of fact, recently we did a survey, and when we asked many of our longtime distributors what makes them stay, money wasn't even number one, even though they're making great money. It was the friendships. It was the adventures. It was the community. And what I love about that is as we kick off November, I just want to remind you, belief is everything in this business. Confidence is everything in this business. And when you're able to, with clarity, envision yourself having success, small success in the beginning, all the way up to massive success. Like literally close your eyes. You can see it. You can feel it. You can just like know it. Oh my gosh. Then it's just a matter of time before it happens. You know, it's going to be hearing stories that help you identify, but it's going to be massive belief transfer that does it for most of us. And for me, when I was building, I wasn't going to leave it to chance whether my people believed they could. And so if you have anybody on your team, I want you to commit to transferring belief into your team like never before. What does that look like? Calling out their strengths, telling them what they do well so that they'll do more of it. Areas where you see them already having natural, unique giftings that maybe they don't even know. I don't think we tell people enough what we see in them that makes them so special. I mean, this truly has become such a recruiting skill for me. When I see, like, you know, I made that list of 20 or 30 things that I wanted in my next distributor or two. And as I saw people with those characteristics, I thought to myself, you would be so good at what I do. And it became one of the most incredible recruiting strategies that I had, because whether it was somebody that I could pick up on their traits, you know, through the internet, like through social media, just through their influence, or whether it was somebody I met passing them by on the street or running into them at the store, whatever the case might be, that may be a little bit harder in these times that we're living in, but it was a great recruiting strategy for me. And what I want you to know right now is that we are in holiday season. I know we had Thanksgiving in Canada last month, but we have Thanksgiving in the US this month. Election for the US is next week. And while that's only happening in the US, we're a US based company. It tends to have a global impact. We've got Christmas coming up right after, obviously all the things in between like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of distractions. But you know what? We get to choose our focus, and what we focus on gets larger. We get to choose that. And so, you know, one of the things I want to make sure is that you yourself is creating an intentional action plan for your business every single day. For me, as simple as it was, that was always my 6 list, because it literally helped me prioritize the 6 top things I needed to do for my business the next day, because you know there's always going to be other things that come, you know, emergencies, hiccups, challenges, a new person that joins that goes crazy busy in their, you know, goes crazy on fire in the business. We know that when you sign a new person, that's a whole new network, and that can bring a whole new group of business right out of the gate. You know, I wanted to make sure that you guys are not just waking up going, what am I going to do for my business today? But that when you go to bed, you have a plan in place, the 6 list, the KPIs, the trackers. Have you seen the new KPI trackers in your eSuite document library? They're so good. Go print it off. Print off the new front to back steps to success. It's kind of the bare bones of what you need to do when you launch a new distributor. Now, here's the deal. That is the plan. We all put our personality to it, but that's the plan. And if you wonder what our system is, that's our system. We keep it super simple. We hold hands with our new people every step of the way, because we don't want them getting confused or getting a no and getting scared and walking away. The amount of effort you put into recruiting somebody should be the same, if not more, as you help them get started. Because that's what they committed to. They committed to you. They bought into you, which means you are going to be the one that is going to be their mentor, their guide, their buddy, their accountability as they begin this business. So, you know, I could go on and on about a couple different things, but I want to get into something new here in just a second. We need to make sure that we're consistently doing the fundamentals of this business, and as a field team, here's what I can tell you we're committed to. We're committed to, launching new distributors every Wednesday night. We do that every Wednesday night. You can plug into that, but you can also make sure that's happening for your team and or doing the same flow, steps of success with the sheet on the back, but putting your personality to it, having your team do it, that's fine, but it is available to you. We also have a selling sample, like Power Hour Zoom. People that have not yet joined can be there, as well as new people. So you're teaching them how to sell those samples right out of the gate, make some cash, or typically raise the money for their kit. Both of those things can happen. We've also got tons of powers using the KPIs and the host to post. And y'all, we're training all the time and showing you what's working. Sometimes it might be scary and outside of your comfort zone, but you know what? We're always reinventing ourselves, always trying new things. I did not join this business thinking I would do parties or I'd be working my business online and being an influencer. But you know what? The business evolved and it was either get on board or you know what? Like this train was leaving without you. And even though I thought I did not do this to do parties, guess what? I did parties because I did whatever it took to build the business because I believe in our products. I believe in this business model. And quite frankly, I needed it for my family, and the more people that joined my team, I bought into what they needed for their teams, for their business, for their families. And it just like my heart, when the Bible says God had compassion on them, it didn't matter how tired I was. I had compassion for their goals and I was connected to that. I was in alignment with them and I wanted to help them build their business and reach their goals because guess what? That was also going to help me reach mine. It's just a beauty of how this business works. So one of the things I want to encourage you as a business builder, as somebody either already building your team or seeking to build your team, a couple things I want you to know. If you guys are putting chats in the chat room, for whatever reason, it's not showing up for me. So I hope this thing is working. Darn it. It is our job to lead by example, to lead from the front. What does that look like? Guys, I used to post and introduce every time I welcome someone new to the business. And it wasn't because I was doing it for me. I was doing it so my team saw I was still recruiting. I was doing it so the new person that just came in would accept that onto their wall and their people, their network would begin seeing it. And so even if they were afraid to start reaching out, just by my announcement post alone, people were going to listen and learn and she was going to get people reaching out to them. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, but it was a great way to lead by example. Also, as we are officially... Okay, so I want you to, diamonds and above, to be on our call this Wednesday because we're going to talk about our 30 hard challenge. Talk about a way to get after it with 2-a-days or maybe even 3-a-days. For those of you that played college sports, you know what I'm talking about. But we're going to take the hill. We're going to go uphill, take the hill this month. This is your November sprint. We are going to set you up to not only end 2020 awesome, but to begin 2021 better than you thought possible. Little note, I want to talk to you about the fact that we are highly encouraging every single one of you to meet together in small groups to watch this year's conference 2021. Begin planning that now. Certainly not saying you need to have 20s of 30s or rent a hotel room. I am saying 2, 3, 10 people locally. If you don't have anybody local in your area on your team, don't be afraid to reach out to our field team or on the Road to VIP page and say, this is where I live. Anybody here? We could watch it together. You know, there's so much power in the proximity piece. And while we have a bit of, some things that we can't do this year, there's so much we can do. So we're going to embrace the season we're living in and we're going to maximize all the barriers that normally held us back in a number of ways to get people to us who couldn't afford to travel or spend the extra on hotel rooms and flights. And now we're going to be doing it right from the privacy of our homes, but you can still do it together. So let's make sure that you have a plan to do that. You're going to hear more and more from us, encouraging you what those 2 days can look like to truly maximize the time together and really benefit from all the material that we are providing. And we've got more speakers that we're excited to share with you that will be on the itinerary. Okay, what are some things that we can do to lead loud right now, as well as as by example, because leadership is less about a title and more about your influence, more about the action. And so, there is a spot on this game plan where it says, this month I'm going to lead from the front by, let's go ahead and drop in the comments examples of how we can lead by the front, even if you're a team of 1 or 2 right now. How can you lead from the front? It's never too early to start leading. And as you lead loudly, guess what? You'll notice people joining your team because they see how simple you make the business, how fun, and they realize they're going to get your help. But I would absolutely show myself completing the steps as I complete them. 100%. I would talk about things on my team pages that I was going to do for that day. And typically before I go to bed at night, I would share a couple things I'm doing to get ready for the next days, to make sure I'm messaging and following the KPIs, to make sure I'm getting a host of posts up, to make sure I'm being social consistently with my business, how I'm upselling, some of the verbiage I'm using, the products that I'm upselling with to get them to that $100 threshold to get the free shipping, ideas that I'm doing to enhance the gold program with my customers or ones that are not quite yet into the gold program to encourage them to keep ordering so they get into that gold program and benefit from what that offers. There are recognize and ways to encourage your team, and it doesn't have to cost you any money. It's as simple as sending a voice message or a text, sending a handwritten card, posting a public shout out in team pages or chats, giving a platform or space where they can share something they're doing that's working, bragging on them in your team Zooms, telling them in person how much you value. Recognition should be a part of our everyday routine. If you are a leader, meaning you have at least one person on your team, all the way up to double ambassador, you should have time scheduled every single day in your day, even if it's 30 minutes, to do intentional recognition. Remember, people will work hard for money, but they'll die for recognition, and it's free. Even handwritten notes can be the total game changer. There's also always a place to keep track of your customers and distributors. Listen, y'all. We can give you all the ideas. We can give you the greatest promotions. We can give you incredible tools. The field team can have their push group and great ideas of how to build your business day in and day out. But you know what? You have to actually do the work. You have to actually do the work. I can have a trainer with the best training program and food plan, but if I don't follow it, guess what? It's not going to work. And so that's where we come into making that commitment. And it's obviously so much more fun to do it together. So there's no reason you shouldn't, but we are gonna, this November is gonna be a sprint. It's our 2-a-days. We're gonna double our efforts. We're gonna double down, work harder to get the results, as well as, position ourselves to really take 2021 on by storm. Don't miss the diamond call this week. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great way to kick off the week. If there's one thing I can tell as a team we're missing, it's belief. It's belief that you can and that you will. And I want to tell you a story before I end today, but I want to make sure you're listening. Are you listening? Do you want me to tell my story? I want to be very transparent about something with you. But as I do that, I want to just remind you, Mark said last night on the family call, and I just want to echo it and let you know I'm doing it. Mark said for the month of November, as it's Thanksgiving here in the U.S., it's a month to be grateful. It's something we need to practice all the time, I believe. But obviously this month, we really want to make sure that we are praising, but also praying. This is a hard time we're living in. We've never had a pandemic. We've never had quarantine. We've never had this much just going on. Keep in mind, we also have election, and we've got people on very different ends of the spectrum. But one thing I know works, and that's prayer. So Mark and Cindy are praying and praising every single day in honor of the month of November and everything that's going on. They're praying for the business. They're praying for their relationship. They're praying for their family. They're praying for finances. And then every day they're having a new praise. Today my praise was quality time with my kids this weekend. That's why we do this. We build this business so we can do what others can't, because others weren't willing to build like we are. And you guys, there were a lot of times I said no so that I could say yes. And I just treasured the quality time with my kids this weekend. I didn't even open a present this weekend, but I was able to just celebrate special memories with my children. So praise and prayer every single day. Would love to have you jump on that. And I know that when we're all praying in the same direction, mighty things happen. And it's interesting because when you hear about the Bible, when you read in the Bible about when God fed the 5,000 and then the very next chapter he fed 4,000, we hear about the fishes and the loaves and the story about feeding 5,000. He had 3 loaves, 2 fishes, something like that, 5 loaves, 2 fishes, and he was able to feed all 5,000. Do you know what he did before he did the miracle? He blessed it. He said, thank you, Lord. He said, thank you for what he had in his hand. And then God did what he could not do, and that was he made it go and feed everybody. And then the very next chapter, he fed 4,000. Same thing. He had 7 loaves, 2 fish. He blessed it first. So praise always precedes the miracle. Always. So you might not be where you want to be right now, but you know what? Don't not fight for what you want. Don't not fight for what you want. And please, please, please put your work into it. Don't ask for something, but not be willing to do your part. Let's talk about election right now. Pray, 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 pray. Go vote, but definitely pray so that you can surrender the results and trust God with exactly what's going to be, but do your part. All right, ready for a story? I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, some of you may or may not know this, but when I joined this business, I'm seeing 0 comments. I don't think I turned comments off, but for whatever reason, it's not happening. I'm going to see if it's happening over here because it's not happening here. And I can't tell. Yeah, who knows? But, I started as a distributor just like you. And actually, guess what? I joined 3 times total. The first time I joined was right when the company opened. A little bit later when I didn't do anything with it the first time. And then you guys are texting me. I love it. It's just not showing up for me. So that's fine. I'll go back later. And I'll make sure that I can go back and read through because mine literally froze a long, long time ago, but that's all right. I'm glad it's working for you. Okay, here's my story. You ready? Some of you may not know this about me, but I built in the field before I ever came over to the corporate side of things. As a matter of fact, I joined in March of 2006, and I came over to the corporate side of things about 3 years ago. So, it took me about 1.5 years to go diamond. It took me a little over 3 years to go ambassador. And then I was the first black diamond with the company, which was a position that someone earned when they were making 6 figures a month for 6 consecutive months. Now, I don't say that to brag. I say that so you understand that I know what I'm talking about. And I'm still actively building with you guys every single day. I don't have a position anymore, but you better believe I am referring customers and distributors to you guys every single day. That's not the point of my story. Let me tell you a little bit about that process, you guys. The first time I joined out of pressure because we're a family and we support each other. The second time I joined again out of pressure and we're a family and we support each other. But I was also a broke college kid that needed a little extra money, so I thought I'd give it a try. And real quickly, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't. Sometimes when the time's not right, it's just not right. The third time I joined, though, was because I had a need. I was a brand new mom, little guy, and I couldn't imagine going to school and raising everybody else's kids while somebody was home raising mine. Now, that didn't take away the fear or the doubt that I would know what was needed to build this business. But you know what it did do? It absolutely took away, I was scared and I had a ton of fear and I knew it was going to be hard. But you know what was harder to me was sending my son to daycare with other people to watch all his furs. So again, I had 2 hards. I had fear of missing out on all his first, and I had fear of the rejection of building a business. I had no clue what I was doing. I never sold anything before. But guess what? I had to pick which fear I wanted less, right? And I didn't want to miss his stuff, so I decided to embrace my fear. I decided to embrace my hard. Now, if you're on this right now and you've been with us and you're like, oh, I know Cami Build, I can get off right now. No, you can't, because I have something for you. It's probably especially for you if you're triple and above. So hang with me here for a minute. I've got something you need to hear. And when I joined, there was no leadership. And I remember the first leadership were some double diamonds, you guys. There were no ambassadors. There were no black diamonds. There wasn't even a black diamond level. So here's the deal. There wasn't anybody doing these things I felt in my heart could be done. And my belief was built on the fact that my parents own the company, and I believe my parents do what they say they're going to do. They don't always do it in the way that I want them to, or sometimes at the timing they do it, but I knew that they're people that are people of their word. And guys, it's hard to find people that are people of their words. So that was one strong foundational piece for me. Second of all, we had consumable products that people wanted, needed, were spending money on, and they were using them every single month. Boom, makes sense. Debt-free, the company's debt-free. Listen, the company can do a lot more things when they're debt-free. And they're teaching us to be debt-free. They don't want us to be a slave to them or anybody else. I thought, this is so good. But more importantly, I'd been praying for something. And as much as I didn't want to admit it, I knew that this is what I'd been praying for. And as hard and as scary as it seemed, I knew this was what I needed to embrace. Now, fast forward, you guys, because my first goal was to replace my teaching income. Everybody's results are different. Everybody has different. I don't lead you astray. I want to just tell you my personal story, and then also to give you an idea of what I'm trying to talk to you about here. Do not get off. This is for you. I don't care what level you're at. If you're an ambassador with us in the top 10, you need this also. You probably need this more because you're out there fighting the good fight and leading your whole team. So, after I was able to replace my teaching income with this business, guess what? I didn't put out there what I wanted next. I got stuck at that level for a while. And if you've heard my story, you'll know that knowing what I wanted next made it where the minute I started to get close to that next goal, I knew very quickly, I don't want to be stuck again. So I got to put out there what I want next. Now, I want you to know, I didn't say I wanted something next that I was watching people do, because we're building this thing, right? There was not anybody leading by example, or I wasn't seeing it done and believing it could be done. I knew it was something in here that I wanted, and I believed if it was in here, I didn't just make it up. I believe it got put here for a reason. And you guys, I will never forget, there was no Black Diamond. There was no 2.0. It was a desire and a dream right here of a money amount that I wanted that far exceeded anything that seemed remotely realistic. And I couldn't look around and see that things were lining up that way, that systems were positioning me to get that. But I knew here, when my eyes were closed, I saw the number. It makes me think of when people talk about paying off debt. When they're serious about paying off debt, they see the number to the penny. When you're serious about what's been put on your heart, you see it here, you feel it here. You don't have a doubt in any fiber of your being. It doesn't mean somebody had done it and taught me how it was done. You guys, the belief was here. And I had to fight for that belief every single day. I had to speak it out. I want this much money every single day. I want to be compliant as possible. You guys, it was a big amount of money. And it meant to me that ItWorks was the best company out there. It didn't mean that I was seeing people do it so that I had a calculator that could show me how. Dreams don't always work that way, guys. You don't always have the visibility. You have to see it here when your eyes are closed. I have committed, and I challenge you to be with me on this. You can go back to my coffee chat from last Saturday. But you guys, I'm committed to walking out the rest of this year by faith and not sight. And some of the dreams that God puts on your heart for what you want for your business, it has nothing to do with what you can see with your physical sight, but what you see here with your faith. I have no idea how people build a business like this without having faith. I don't have a clue, because you know what? I couldn't have done it without it, because what I saw wasn't because I saw other people doing it on stage. Oh, no, I saw it here. I knew it here. It didn't matter. It wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when. And I was determined to find enough other people that wanted to do what I was doing. And I believe even in this world we're living in, where we are social media crazy, our attention span is like that. We don't have a lot of attention span. But you know what we do have? We have vision. We believe with every fiber of our being that if that was placed here, that it was meant to be a reality. And so we walk by faith, not by sight. That'll be what makes the difference in where you are now and where you want to be. And not all of you are meant to want things that can't be seen. Many of you are like, oh no, so-and-so's doing what I want to do. Great, keep your eye on them. And you keep getting after it. But some of us have a desire for something that we can't see. And it's because you were meant to be the one to make it happen. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys today is we're all on very different levels of this path. I see a few hearts. I see 0 comments. So that's a little intimidating. I hope this is, I know this is meeting many of you right where you are. But if you're committed to pray and praise every day this month for the company, for your family, for your finances, and just the things that God is doing in your life, it's too easy to get caught up on the things that he's not doing. And then I challenge you to commit right now that you are going to walk by faith, not by sight. Whatever it is, the dream that God's laid on your heart, the vision that he's given you, don't look around. And if you're not seeing it in the physical realm, you're not believing it. Believe it. It was laid on your heart for a reason. Speak it out so your ears can hear it. Pray that God would give you greater faith and pray that he would do abundantly and exceedingly more than you could ask or imagine. But y'all, you got to be willing to work for it. You got to be willing to work for it. It's 2-a-days right now. It is running up, taking the hill, uphill. It is 30 days hard. It is a sprint. Don't miss the Diamond and Above call this week. Make sure you're plugged on. Gosh darn it, if you're feeling stuck or alone, don't keep it quiet. When you're isolated, then the enemy can influence you, and that is no good. But if you're ready for different, then do something different. Reach your hand out for help. And while you're reaching out for help, don't be afraid to reach down and pull someone up with you. I mean, that's what life is about. It's getting help and going to that next level, all while we're bringing people up to the next level. That's what life's about. That's what It Works is about. That's the kind of people we are. We sell these awesome weight loss, wellness, coffee, skincare. But you know what? People are our primary product, and I believe in you. Maybe somebody hasn't told you that in a long time. Maybe you haven't believed in you in a long enough time, and normally you're your biggest fan. You know, all these hard parts of 2020 are just a nick, and it's getting to you. Many of you don't even realize it. Man, you got to protect that circle, what you're listening to and what you're reading. You got to protect that. And I'm telling you, you can. You can. I didn't have an upline. I didn't have anybody calling me every day or pouring into me. I had to reach out when I needed help. And I had to be smart enough and self-aware enough to go, there's something stinking with my thinking, and I got to reach out and get help. I got to get help. And you got to do that for you. You got to advocate for yourself. Greatest thing I learned this year, I got to write that down and I got to write about it. Greatest thing I heard this year at conferences for my daughter is she advocates for herself. Be someone who advocates for yourself. Attention is fleeting right now, folks, but I promise you there's people out there that need what we have and they're willing to work hard. They just haven't had anybody tell them yet what's possible or enough. They just weren't ready for it. Look how many times it took me to get ready for it. I'm so glad nobody gave up on me because it's forever changed my life, and look at all the people's lives that have been blessed in the process. All right, I could go on and on. You got to get to work. These are your 2-a-days. This is your 30 days hard. If you don't know what that is, look it up on YouTube. 75-day hard. We're going to give you a formula to do 30 hard starting in November with strategies that'll take your business to the next level. Guys, there's nothing about what we do that's easy, but it is simple. But it does require hard work. You got this. I believe in you. And if you need to listen to this video or capture that little part where I say I believe in you so that you hear that every day and then you start believing in yourself, your voice has more weight than my voice does. So maybe record yourself going, I believe in me. I can do this. I will earn. Put it out there. I don't care if you're not seeing it being done. Put it out there. I said, Lord, there are not a lot of women in business that are also moms laying out an example. But you know what? I am manifesting that into my life. I've been praying for it. And my gosh, the Lord is opening doors for that. So don't be afraid to ask for what you don't see. That's what faith is. And remember, I challenge you to live the rest of 2020 by faith, not by sight. Let's do it. What's the alternative, right? By faith, not by sight. God, give me more faith. Increase my faith. Lord, do exceedingly and abundantly more than I could ask or imagine. Let's pray. Let's praise. Let's make November a big time month to remember. How about that? You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later.